Alright, this is the Reese rabbit. I don't know how many of you remember him from my Good Bunny versus Bad Bunny grooming tutorial, but this is my Bad Bunny! And he is awesome now because we've been working with him for quite a bit. I have also started to groom him after he has been hopping around all night, so a lot of that wonderful bunny energy is gone. He's used it up by hopping around all night. And he has also gotten a little bit older, which also helps, especially because he is an unneutered male rabbit, and we all know that teenage boys are rather frisky, so giving him a little bit of time is really what helped. I was actually going to send him off to market, and the guy who was going to take him said that his back was hurting and he didn't want to take him that day, and it was like a complete change. The next morning, Mr. Reese was awesome. I am going to get to grooming my not quite so fuzzy bunny who happens to need brushing. We're going to use a hairbrush. This is just a dollar store hairbrush. And I use this one gently just to knock off the major hay bits. And I apologize if my coat is getting in the way. This is in the bunny house, but it is not heated. At the moment, it's pretty cold out here, but it's not quite freezing either, so I don't turn the heat on unless it's actually freezing. But it is too cold for me to be out here without a coat on. Let's see if you can see this. He's got hay bits in his tail because he's been hopping around all night. And he is still, like, jumpy and frisky and stuff like that, but it's nothing like what it was. And like I said, this sort of brush right here is just to get the major bits off. Don't bite me. We're doing a video on how good you are. Don't bite me. Yeah, don't thump at me either. But see, he actually lets me pet him. Okay, this is going to get loud. And he doesn't like this, but he's not like completely freaked out by it either. So, okay, you can see he doesn't like it. Now, one of the things with the blower is that you need to work slowly, and I'm hoping you can see this. And I don't want to get it in his eyes, so I'm going to cover his eyes. He doesn't like that. Can you see that little bit on his foot that's like not happy? I'll have to cut that out. You don't want to get this in their eyes. So we're just going to work slow around the bunny. Yeah, I know you don't like it. Especially when there's an area that is quite tangly. You want to go slow, and you don't want to go like this because that's going to mat their fur. I'm covering his eyes as I'm coming up towards his face, because I do not want to get this in his eyes. Now you can see that there's also another little bit right there on his foot. See that black on his foot? I don't want to cut that out. I'm covering his ears. I don't know how well you're going to see this. Don't do right on their bum, but you can get their feet. I'll have to do a little bit of good grooming on his feet because he's a little tangly there. You can do the belly. Yeah, I know you don't like it. And that's it. He's done. Now I had that on low heat because it is cold. He's like, I don't like you. I'm going to get away from you. This is the next thing that I use right here, which is just a hair pick. And we're going to use this on his face. just gently. Mr. Reese does not have the best haircut in the world right now. I just harvested his wool. It was getting tangly. I usually cut their hair November, which is basically right on time. This is November. He keeps jumping up on the pillow over there. And that gives me enough time for the winter that they can fluff up through most of the winter, and I don't have to cut until like April. Sometimes I have to cut in March, depending. I know you don't like it. But you're a good boy now, which is great. Okay, so you can see, working with a rabbit, the startling difference between when we first started out and now. And I'm really happy about this because he doesn't bite me anymore. He doesn't scratch me anymore. You can see, like, he's not like super happy, but he's not trembling. He's not stomping. He's not attacking me. So yeah, work with your rabbits and give them a little bit of time and they will turn out to be beautiful little bunnies. I'm going to trim this little bit right here. You can see that this is longer than the rest of it, and I'll trim those little knotties that are on his feet so that his feet are more comfortable. And I think that's all the knots that I saw on him, so we really don't have much to do today. These are the scissors that I've been using, and they're great for the rabbits. They're not great for me. They have left a scar on my thumb right here because it's hard to manage the scissors. They tend to slip down on my thumb like that, and that's when I get the blister. But it's not, and this is all just scrap. That's not anything I keep. I give it to the mice. Of course, the mice take what they want anyway. Here, hold still because I want to get this. Now my fingers are sort of underneath where I'm clipping there because I don't want to clip him. And he's right next to Max, so they're going to be like sort of competing. I don't even know how much of this you can see. Not much. Alright, that feels pretty good. And you had another one here. So let's clip that. No, you gotta stay here so I can clip that. Let me see it. Let me see this cute little paw of yours. There we go. That's gone now. Not the paw. The knotty on the paw. We got a knotty here. They like to sort of glue themselves down, so it's hard to get like here on the inside of their knee. I usually turn them over. I just turned him over a couple days ago. This is like maintenance stuff. I do try to groom them at least twice a week. They don't necessarily need that, but that lets me keep an eye on them. It gives me time to interact with them. Like his mother, she doesn't need grooming except for like once a month. But I still try to interact with her more often. Okay, I'm happier with that. That looks cuter anyway. And you'll notice he has a good bit of fur left on him. He's got probably half an inch of fur left. I do not trim them down totally this time of year. That's very important not to do that. Okay, last tool is this little cat flea comb. See that? Okay. And that is for faces and paws, and if there's a sort of lightly webbed area, I'll use it there. I do not use this to pull out mats. I cut out mats. I don't mess with them because I don't want to cause my bunnies pain. I'd rather have them have a funny haircut than be in pain. But this is especially useful for ears. And between the ears, a lot of times I will just keep this right here trimmed pretty close. I've left it long because it's getting cold, but he's got mats growing there, so we're just going to cut that out. He'll look a little bit funny, but that's okay, because he's a funny bunny anyway. They don't really like the whisker thing, but they tend to get knots there because when they stick their faces in the food dish, it knots up. But you gotta be careful not to get their eyes. And I do try to leave the area with their whiskers rather than cutting it. Like if they get knots there, I'll try and trim out the individual knot. Look at how cute you are, Mr. Reese Rabbit. Alright, now really and truly, that's it. And we'll catch you later. We went from Bad Bunny to Good Bunny. How cool is that?